Hello everyone, my name is Matiza. So today I want to talk about basically pre-med 101. I want to give y'all the 411 on being pre-med. So I'm going to divide this into about 4 sections. So the first one, as a pre-med student, you're going to have a chunk of your energy going to classes. Now the classes, it really depends on your undergrad. For me and my undergrad, the classes that were recommended to us were 1 year of English, 1 year of college math, and for me I did 1 semester of calculus and 1 semester of statistics, 1 full year of general chemistry with general chemistry lab, 1 full year of biology with biology lab, 1 year of organic chemistry with organic chemistry lab, 1 full year of physics with physics lab, and for us, okay, emphasis on us because some universities do it differently. For us, it was 1 semester of biochemistry. So all of these is where your energy, I'd say like 60% of your energy will go to. Grades are important. You know, you may hear that medical schools don't only look at your grades, but they look at the rest of your application, which is true. But I did my best to give my best to each of the aspects of being a pre-med student so that I can present my best. So all I'm saying is give your best to your classes. I just listed all of those courses, but as I mentioned in the beginning, it's important to double check with your undergrad, because what medical schools will do is they will look at what they require and then they're going to compare it to your university standards. So the standards I gave you right now with that list of classes are based off of my alma mater's standards. If you just follow what your university recommends, you should be good to go. Some medical schools may have another class that may not be in your undergrad recommendations for pre-med courses. So in that case, if you really want to go to that medical school, definitely double check with that medical school. Definitely give them a call. Hey, I'm at this university. My university is telling me to take these classes, but then your site says this. What do you recommend? And I'm sure somebody will help you. So now that we covered the first part of pre-med 101, which are your prerequisites, the second part of pre-med 101 is extracurriculars. So specifically, it's your volunteering, it's your shadowing, it's your patient interaction, it's your leadership. These are just some of the main extracurriculars that I could think of. Let's start with volunteering. How I got my volunteering experience, definitely starting out as a freshman. I shadowed at a clinic, I volunteered at a hospital, but there's a bunch of ways that you can get volunteering experience as it relates to medicine. I definitely took advantage of my breaks. I didn't volunteer or shadow during the school year just because for me, if I'm in school, I'm focused on those grades and also my academic clubs that I was a part of, but mostly I'm focused on those grades, yeah. But don't get me wrong, if you're able to do your classes and your other on-campus commitments plus volunteering and shadowing, by all means, do you. I had a lot of classmates and a lot of colleagues who did that. 80% of my friends who were pre-med did that. They were going to class and then after class, during like a break in between classes, they were at the hospital down the street from our undergrad volunteering. So it's definitely possible. Definitely get your shadowing and your volunteering experience in a clinic setting or hospital setting, but don't ignore those non-clinic, non-hospital volunteering experiences that you can speak about in your medical school application that relates to why you would make a great doctor. Patient interaction. This may be a shocker to you as it was to me because I'm like, oh, okay. But shadowing is generally, feel free to call AAMC and verify. Or, you know, check with your undergrad pre-med counselor. But shadowing in general is not considered like patient interaction. And to my knowledge, the reason being is because you're not really interacting with the patient, you're just watching the doctor, you're watching them interact with the patient. Patient interaction is more hands-on, like you're actually talking to the patient, you're dealing with the patient. And that's also, I'm in my gap years, so that is what I'm doing now with my current job. And a lot of my colleagues were able to get their patient interaction experience through being a medical assistant, also EMT. EMT is very big in the pre-med community, CNA, you know? Patient interaction, definitely add that. you definitely get that in your pre-medical experience. The last aspect of the extracurriculars I'm going to touch on is leadership experience. You know, are you a leader? Yeah. I definitely was. It wasn't that I was shy, because I'm not really a shy person. It was more so I didn't have time. I'm over here trying to literally survive in these pre-med courses, and you're talking about leaderships? No. But leadership experience is critical, and it's best to get your leadership experience during your undergrad career on campus, being involved in clubs, organizations that interest you. So for example, for me, my colleague, she reached out to me. She was like, hey, I'm starting MAPS at Wesleyan, and I think you'd be a great secretary. You want to do it? And I'm like, no. No, I got stuff to do. I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to survive in these pre-med recs. That is the least of my worries. MAPS is the Minority Association of Pre-Medical Students, which is like the baby sibling organization of the Student National Medical Association, the SNMA. So MAPS is present at most undergrad universities across the country, but as a pre-medical student, you have to be really good at multitasking. You got to be really good at managing a lot on your plate, but in a manner that works for you and your mental health. So at that time, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll do it, but I'm gonna be really strict with my social time. So you will realize quick and fast what to prioritize, what not to prioritize, and when to prioritize it. So that's what I had to learn when I said yes to being a secretary of our MAPS organization at Wes. Leadership is important as a pre-medical student, because as a doctor, you are a leader. So medical schools definitely want to see you fine-tune, develop, excel in your leadership skills. I would suggest being a part of an organization or a campus club that you are passionate about. And I also had other colleagues who held leadership positions in non-medicinal organizations. One of my friends was on the SGA board of the entire university, and another one was on the leadership board of a social organization. So it really depends on you. But the most important thing is go with where you are passionate about, but just make sure that at the end of the day, you're able to align why that leadership experience would make you a great doctor. So we talked about classes, we talked about extracurriculars. One of the second to last topics is research. Now, research on paper is recommended to pre-medical students, but there's a caveat. You gotta do it. However, you don't have to do the same research that everyone's doing. It doesn't have to be like scientific research. It can literally be humanities research. It can just be whatever research that interests you. I did science research, but I also did psychology research. I also did infectious disease research, and I also did language research. I did research that I felt happy with, and it wasn't because so-and-so was doing it, or that's a popular research lab on campus, I want to join it just because it's popular. No. I did what I felt in my spirit that I was content with. Find a topic that you're passionate about and then go a little deeper. Get creative in how you can make that passion or research question. Speak with professors who can help you make that happen, and boom, you have your research passion right there. In general, research is broken down into two categories: dry lab and wet lab. Wet lab is like your science experiments, right? You're handling liquids and biological matters, as opposed to dry lab is more of applied and computational analysis. For example, my language research, my psychology research was all dry lab, but my biology research was wet lab because I was pipetting, I was handling bacteria. Definitely get your research in. Don't listen to what people are saying, oh, it's not recommended. No. Do it. And the last part of Pre-Med 101 that I could think of was you. There's gonna be a part in your application where you're just gonna talk about an interest of yours, and it doesn't have to relate to medicine. It's just about you. Whatever you like to do, that's something you can also mention. This part of being pre-med and talking about your hobbies gives the medical school a gist of who you are as a person and what you value. That is it for this video. My camera is dying. I hope this video was helpful, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Mwah. Ciao.